dreams, but I'm also going through spiritual battle because, you know, the Antichrist is the Antichrist spirit is here basically. And I just noticed that in my dreams, I'm just seeing this dude everywhere, okay? And, I know that the church is going through a lots of persecution. God warned us about this. And basically, we have to just continue to keep fighting and being ready for the Lord. And we really got to get close to Him. We really, 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 really got to get close to Him. All right. So let's get to the dream. So, I was in the, I was above the earth basically, and I saw the east coast of the United States of America. And I'm looking at it, and it looks like kind of like a weather channel. You ever see like the weather channel? You ever see the East Coast in the United States? So I'm just looking at the United States and the East Coast, and I see this wind pushing back the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so pretend my Bible is the East Coast. Like this is the United States, this is the East Coast, and this is the ocean. Okay, this is the Atlantic Ocean. Now, for some reason, a wind came by and was pushing the ocean back. But I knew that the ocean was going to come back, okay? So I ended up coming down onto Earth. Now, New York is right here, but like I'm like standing in a certain area where I could see the whole city. And I saw the tsunami come smack New York City. It was a big tsunami. Like all I know is a big tsunami, and what happened was I saw buildings falling. It was, and when I looked at the day was really smoky and dark and it was just a dark day. Now, after that happened, I was walking around a lot of people. Okay, no one really said anything, but I was walking around a lot of people. And then I see um, the Antichrist, or should I say the beast. I see Obama, right? I'm walking behind him. And I shove him. And I basically like I can't remember what I did. It was me and I think there was some kids there too. But I was basically he was getting confronted. I was just like, dude, I know you're the Antichrist. I know you're the beast and you're trying to come into power. You know, you don't really care for anybody, basically things like that. And he got in his car and he pulled up like he walked out and then he got in his car and he pulled up and then he basically said like, yes, I am, or something like that. And next thing you know, I ended up running into this building because we were getting ready for the Antichrist. So we're in this building, and I believe I was with God in this building because sometimes God appears as my father to let him know it's Father God. And, we was talking about like how Obama got voted from the Republican, not the Republican, the Democrat states. We was talking about the states, like we was just talking about the East Coast states basically. And next thing you know, I see this wise man, okay? He looked wise. He just looked really smart, like he knew what was up. He takes this tool in his hand and he draws a line near the door, like a white line. Like he like marks it basically. And by the time he marks it, the Antichrist comes, but he's in a different form now. Like he was changing forms basically, but he changed his form and he looked like the Undertaker. You ever see the Undertaker off of wrestling? Like he then changed his form and looked like that. And then he puts his finger on the door and he draws an X or something like, or like he says like X marks the spot or something like that. I don't know. He says something like that, but he couldn't get in the door. And then him and this wise guy was kind of like going at it, like this deep conversation, like the battle's about to begin, basically things like that, right? But then the wise guy kind of backs up and then the Antichrist walks away because he can't get in. Now, I believe this is a huge building. There's many floors in this building. So there's a bunch of guys running to the top, trying to like get to the door or something, but it was like too late because when they got to there wasn't like, well, they were running in like behind each other, but when one of the guys got to the top, the Antichrist was in the door already. He was like inside the building basically, and he said something. He said like a sentence saying, "Don't worry, this is gonna hurt" or something like that. This is only gonna hurt for a bit or a while. I don't know. He said something like that. After he said that, okay, this is what like kind of freaked me out. He opened his mouth. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys. Hold on. He opened his mouth, and you see, I'm gonna describe it on my arm. Okay, you see how my arm looks like a. You see how my arm looks? You see the vein and things like that. Picture his tongue looking like that, but it was really slimy and it was really long, okay? And at the end of his mouth, it looked like a ball with like 4 tentacles coming out. Like this, right? You ever see it? Yeah. He literally grabs the guy and eats him and swallows him whole. Right after he swallows that guy, he grabs the next guy and swallows him. Then the next guy and swallows him. It was ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, it was scary. And I woke up. I could have saw more in that dream, but it was getting kind of heavy for me. So I just woke up. I said, I gotta wake up. Like this is a lot. So I just said, you know what? Let me just write down the dream of everything I saw and just share it. But God has been showing me lots of Antichrist dreams, because we really, really, really have to watch out for this guy. You know what I mean? Seriously, guys. Like this guy is trying to bring the mark of the beast here. And you take that mark, you're done. It's over for you. You can't. You're not. It's over. Do you know what I mean? It's over. And it's not just from. It's not just from. I don't even think it's from a Justin chip implant. It's from worshiping this guy. If you worship this guy, because it says in Revelation, anyone who worships the beast or its image will be thrown into the lake of the fire because you have the mark on your forehead or something like that. So when you bow down, you know what I mean? So you got to take that to God, because I still don't know exactly how this mark fully works. I know that you won't be able to buy or sell. At the same time, you know, like it involves worshiping and bowing down to the image or his image. So again, you know, just take this to the Lord. You know, I know that the chip is part of it. You know, the implants, but I think there's more to it. I'm not 100% sure yet. Yes, I've heard of the dreams about, you know, the Antichrist, people bowing to him. Yes. So any way possible, just you gotta watch out. Okay, you gotta keep your eye out. You gotta be wise as serpents. Okay, you gotta be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. That's what it says in the Bible. So, take this to the Lord. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I love you guys. Be safe out there, okay? We know what's coming. We know we got to be ready. We know we got to stay in prayer and get our house in order, okay? I love you guys. Shalom.